You're
Shut my
fucking
goofy ass up. You're literally just queued up the game just to fucking lose and complain, my nigga. They get decided to complain, my nigga. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about, bro?
So I know that sounded like a toxic meltdown in my team in a game, but it wasn't. We were just having fun with each other and having some lighthearted banter, and there was no blame or cursing or anything going on. So in that spirit, this video is a rebuttal. It's playing devil's advocate that there's no toxicity in Marvel Rivals, and that everything that bad happens that makes you feel bad or that you experience in this game or with the community is your fault. Now, if you have not watched my previous video about the 13 toxic traits of Marvel Rivals, this video is not going to make any sense to you, okay? So please watch that video first where I talk about the 13 toxic traits of Marvel Rivals, and now prepare to listen to the devil's advocate, the other side of the argument, because a lot of you decided to come and argue with me that it's my fault and that I'm a wimp and soft and sensitive and that things really aren't that way and it's all just me and a bunch of whiners. All right, so reason one, you're a crybaby with Marvel Rivals when people yell at you over the mic. See, they're not yelling at you over the mic, and it's not personal. I mean, they may be telling you to kill yourself, or that you suck at the game, or that you're some type of racial slur. They're just being nice to you and trying to build you up in a positive way. You see, when people get yelled at and called every name in the book, it actually does really good things for their psyche, and it makes them really enjoy the game and the experience that they're having with their team. And it is just a video game, right? And this is how people treat each other in video game culture. So we should just do what everyone does in the game. And why fight the culture? Why try to be better and nicer to people? No, this is a game. This is the Wild West. This is virtual space where you're anonymous and you can yell at people all that you want, and it's okay because there's nothing anyone can do, right? Because you're anonymous. And furthermore, you would never talk to or yell at anyone in real life, and so it's really cool that you have an outlet to bully people and say those kind of things to other people. And so really, by taking that kind of abuse from people, you're really just an outlet, a sounding board for them. You're really doing them a favor as being their verbal punching bag for all the issues that they have in their life mentally and emotionally. And it's good for you to take this kind of verbal onslaught, and so you should really just embrace this as part of the experience of playing a game like this, okay? Okay, the next thing you're a crybaby about that really isn't a toxic feature of Marvel Rivals is the game chat, and that's both either your team or the enemy team typing in that you're trash, or that you should kill yourself, or that you're just a loser and you shouldn't play the game, you should delete the game. You know, whatever it is people say in chat, you really should just embrace that. You know, if people on your team are blaming you in front of the whole game and the other team, really you should just be okay with the fact that they're just not taking any responsibility. You should just aspire to be the kind of person who never looks into themselves and sees what they have done wrong and seeing how you can play better. It's always best to blame other people when things go wrong. That's just the way it goes. And in this game, that's really the way to handle it. I mean, you should try it for yourself sometime. You should blame other people for when things go wrong in the game, because when it's not your fault, it's like a weight has been lifted off of you and you can blame other people. And it's just a real positive experience for your teammates as well as the other team when you rub it in their face. When your team has dominated the other team, it really builds self-esteem, and it's a real positive thing for you to let the other team know that they're trash and that you're the better player. And that carries on over to other things in your life where you can show that attitude to other people, maybe people that you're involved with romantically or people you work for in an employment situation. It's just a good practice. So no, when people treat you that way in a game, you're clearly wrong. They're just building their self-esteem and they're practicing for how to treat people in real life, and yet you just need to be okay with it. Okay, let's get to reason number 3 that you can't hack it and there's not toxicity in Marvel Rivals, and that's when people take the time to send you messages and harass you on the platform that you play on, whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, or Steam. It really is awesome when people go the extra mile to really take the time and show you how they felt about your play in the last match. And you should just be honored that people are taking the time to send you a message in their dashboard. It takes a lot of time and effort for people to leave the game's architecture and go to their own system and send you a private message. I mean, come on, people really like it when they get invasive messages in their platform, calling them names or telling them that they're trash. It just makes sense to operate this way. And it's no indication at all that the person who took the time to send you nasty messages on your platform, it's no indication at all that they have any mental issues or anger issues or want to control your emotions or just say mean things to you or that they're a bully. That's really not the issue. They're just expressing their feelings. And again, as others have told me, you probably just didn't play very well in the game and your stats didn't show it. And so really it was kind of worth it for them to take the time to tell you that. Okay, reason for you're a pushover and there's no toxicity in Marvel Rivals is when people give you a hard time about your stats sucking in the game. I mean, come on, if you don't get enough kills, you deserve to be berated. If you die too many times, you deserve to be harassed. If you're not doing enough healing as a strategist, you're not doing 25,000 heals in 10 minutes, you are absolute garbage. And if you're not doing enough DPS damage as a tank or as a duelist, then you absolutely deserve all the treatment that you're getting in this game, because stats only are the story and nothing else in the game matters. It has nothing to do with pushing objectives or dominating anything or your character just distracting the other team, or if you switch characters and your stats are skewed because of that, because you're switching different types of characters and that you're flexing and you're doing whatever it takes to win the game. Forget that. Okay, it's all about stats. And when things go wrong and someone looks at the scoreboard and they decide that they're going to pick on you because of your stats, you absolutely deserve it, because it doesn't matter how hard you've been playing, how hard you've been trying. It doesn't matter what the other players are doing. It doesn't matter if the person who's yelling at you or typing mean things to you is playing Rocket the whole time. It's all about you and your stats. Okay, so you better get those stats in order, because that is the argument winner every single time. And reason number 5, you're a softie at this game and there's no toxicity in Marvel Rivals, is that people say their stats are great and use that as a way to try to win any argument with you, as I just mentioned. So for example, if someone is a DPS and they're doing a ton of damage, but they're not really getting any kills, and they're feeding the enemy strategist and giving those strategists game-changing ults, those are the kind of people that they're right. I mean, they did a lot of damage, they didn't really help out, they just gave heal bots things to heal. They're right to argue that with you, and you really shouldn't argue back with them, because again, when someone says that they're the greatest player because their stats are the best, you really just need to take that from them and be okay with it and say, yeah, you know what, your stats were great, even though you were Spider-Man the whole match and you killed a few people but really didn't help the team push anything. You're right, your stats are absolutely fine. Okay, reason number 6, you are spineless and that there isn't indeed any toxicity in Marvel Rivals, is that you didn't deserve the rank that you have. So in other words, if you're Grandmaster, look, you just probably played the game over and over again and did mindless things and happened to be in a team that if you sat in the spawn and drooled the whole time, the team carried you, and you clearly didn't do anything to play the game and to get you to Grandmaster, right? Because the game gives you more points to advance than it does to lose. And if you just do this long enough, that you're just gonna earn Grandmaster, and anyone can earn Grandmasters. I mean, think about it. In most things in life, if you take enormous risks and build a successful business or work hard training for an athletic competition and you happen to win in one of those ways, you really didn't deserve it. You really didn't do it. Someone did it for you. Someone helped you. You were on a team that carried you because you're not a great player in athletics, or you were in business and you wrote the business plan and took all the risks and got the loans and masterminded an entire corporation. But hey, you had other people help you out or give you loans. That bank gave you a loan, so, and then you hired people and paid them to do work because there's only one of you and you need other people to do that work. So yeah, you didn't build that. You didn't deserve any of that credit. So why should it be any difference in Marvel Rivals, right? You didn't earn a thing. All right, so the sooner you're okay with that, the better off you're gonna be. Reason number 7, you're a wuss and you can't handle Marvel Rivals and there's no toxicity in that game, is because you play characters that take apparently no skill. And so for example, if you're playing Squirrel Girl, you're just lobbing bombs into the enemy group, and despite the fact that no one in the enemy decides to come and take you out and actually do anything about you in a match, that just shows that, you know, you really should have chosen a character that's much harder to play. In fact, you should just choose characters that are really complicated and difficult to play, and it's even better if you try to play on those characters in a ranked match, and that shows that you're really trying hard, because people respect you trying hard on things. But then also at the same time, if you try hard at something you're not good at and you don't get the right stats, they might yell at you as well. But that's okay, because you just want to avoid playing a character that someone's going to give you ridicule for, right? And so if you're playing Scarlet Witch, forget the fact that she's extremely squishy and can be gunned down pretty much by any other character in the game, and that she has attacks that you do have to aim. That doesn't matter. And she has a great team up with Magneto. That doesn't matter either. What matters is that you don't play her, because people won't respect you if you play her. And you really want to make sure that you're respected by anonymous strangers out there that will yell at you and berate you, and you want to make sure you do whatever you can to please those people and let them know that they get their way. Okay, so if you're still with me so far at this point, I would love a subscribe and a like for this video. It would mean the world to me. Thanks. Okay, reason number 8, you are a gutless coward and there is no toxicity in Marvel Rivals, it's all your fault, is that solo queue people are better and everyone else sucks if they play on a team. So when someone solo queues, they're clearly the most proficient player in this game, because they are one trick, they usually play the same character over and over, and they just like to do things their own way and not have to work with the team. And because they get matched up with random other good players and they occasionally win matches and they rank up to Grandmaster or Celestial, then that gives them the right to punch down on you at any time. So you really need to understand that these solo queue players have earned that. And this is a team game, and it's great to work as a team, but really the only true way to show people that you're really amazing at this game is to solo queue and not play with anyone else, okay? And more importantly, if someone says that they achieved their rank by solo queuing and they punch down on you and say that you're garbage, that's okay, you've deserved that, because weak people play on teams together. Only the strongest do it on their own way. Moving on, reason number 9, you are a feeble Milksop and there's no toxicity in Marvel Rivals and it's your fault, is that if you're using a character that someone doesn't like, then you're immediately obligated to switch when that person starts yelling at you in the chat, because they're right and you're wrong. And even though they haven't given you a chance to play the match yet or see you in action and really give you some type of fair chance, they're right to just tell you what to do and order you around, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's really good and healthy to just prejudge people and to order them around and to tell them what to do and try to control what they're doing. That's a sign of strength and power and leadership, and everyone should aspire to be a manager like that, because people love to be managed like that. People love to be treated that way, and it just brings a lot of positivity and fun to the game. So next time you choose a character that you're good with and you believe is really great for the team comp that your team is currently running, just remember that if someone just doesn't understand the game and yells at you and wants you to play a character they think you should play, just immediately just do what they say, okay? That's really what we're here for, is just to do other people's bidding, especially people who are bossy, and the more angrier and more rude that they are, the more that you're gonna really want to do what they say. All right, you timid, submissive Pansy, this is reason number 10 that there is no toxicity in Marvel Rivals and it's all your fault, and that is when people refuse to switch characters and play another when that character is losing. So for example, if someone's playing Spider-Man and they're 1 in 10, you have no right to ask them to switch to play a character nicely. You have no right to desire that on your team. All right, if they want to play that character and throw the game because the game is so fine-tuned, it's 5v6 the whole time, you're just gonna have to deal with it. It's your problem. You should play better. In fact, you should play so much better you can make up for that 1 in 10 that Spider-Man's doing. I mean, what's wrong with you? Aren't you a better player at this game? If you were a better player at this game, that wouldn't be an issue, right? Everyone would get to play whatever characters they want, and you can hold the whole team, because that's how Marvel Rivals works, right? It's like Call of Duty, when one person can just dominate the whole lobby with the most kills or eliminations or whatever it is you're counting, right? KOs. That's how this game works. So let the Spider-Mans throw. Let your tank go in over and over and get obliterated before the rest of the team gets there. Let your Human Torch fly into the sky and get shot down by Hela over and over, because you can still win at that point, and you just need to stop being a big crybaby about it. All right, you mousy chicken-hearted slouch, this is reason number 11 Marvel Rivals is not toxic, and it's just you and it's your fault. It's perfectly okay for people to quit or throw a ranked match. It's perfectly okay for people to throw a tantrum when they don't get to play their favorite character, or the game's not going how they want it to go, or maybe you're not doing something they want you to do. It's perfectly fine for them to sabotage the match. Again, the game is not fine-tuned at all. A 5 versus 6 isn't going to make much of a difference, and you should be a good enough player, like I was saying before. So people should have a right to quit and throw a ranked match, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's a perfectly acceptable behavior, and people should just be able to quit at any time. After all, they were probably told when they were children that they can quit baseball or football, or they can quit whatever class they were in. In fact, if they went to college, maybe they dropped out of classes they didn't like. Quitting's fine. If things are too difficult in life, we just need to quit and give up. And that applies to Marvel Rivals. So really, it's a life lesson. In fact, I go as far to say that it's your fault that they quit. It doesn't really matter whether it had anything to do with you. It's just your fault. You know why? Because you were there. You were in that game. And frankly, we need a scapegoat for why every team loses. And you be a perfect fit for being the scapegoat. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not toxic. And so just be okay when that happens. Okay, we're at reason 12 that Marvel Rivals is not toxic. And this is for you weak-kneed Fraidy Cat snivellers who like to play strategists. When someone says GG no heals and they're criticizing you for not healing them, and they tell the whole lobby that, they're really in the right, because no matter what, you should be healing them. I mean, who cares if they're charging into a battle when you're not even there and you're staggered and you're still spawning and they're not waiting for you? And it doesn't matter if they take on one-on-one fights that they can't win over and over again. And it really doesn't matter that they ignore all the divers that are coming back to kill you over and over again during a match. All they know is they're not getting healed. And really, that's their truth. They're speaking their truth. And you just need to accept that and understand that it's perfectly acceptable to blame your healers for when you lose a match. This is the way. All right, this is the final reason why Marvel Rivals isn't toxic, and it's your fault. And this is to coup de grace, you spineless, docile, frail cream puff. Your desire to be respected as a human being is petty and completely unreasonable. And if anyone does or says anything, whether it's in Marvel Rivals or real life, to hurt you or that is abusive, you're completely wrong to call them out on it, because it's really your fault and you just need to toughen up and just put up with that type of abuse. If someone's mean and nasty to you in this game, it's because you didn't play good enough and you deserve that kind of treatment, and it's fair and just. And if you have any issues with that type of thing, it's you. You're the problem. And being okay with people gaslighting you leads to really positive experiences, particularly in this game and in real life as well. And that wraps it up. Remember, it's not anyone else's fault. It's your fault. It's your problem. And I hope you enjoyed this parody video, and I'll talk to you soon.